This lesson will teach you how to make a rolled paper bowl out of recycled magazines. Ever wondered what to do with all the junk mail and catalogs you receive? Don't throw them away. Turn your trash into treasure by recycling junk mail. For this project, you'll need catalogs or magazines, a pencil or a dowel to help roll your paper, glue or Mod Podge, and a paintbrush. You might also want to have a ruler nearby, and clear tape will be useful later in the project. To get started, you will create your paper rolls. Notice that you do see the colors from the magazine pages on the paper rolls you create, so pay attention to the colors on the pages you choose. Try to pick a color palette of harmonious colors that will look good together in your final project. Once you find your colorful pages, you will rip them out of your magazine. Grasp the top of the page you want to remove with one hand and hold the center of the magazine with the other. Pull diagonally away from the center of the magazine. If the pages rip, you can also use scissors to rip the pages out of your magazine. Once you have about 25 pages, it's time to roll. First, place the colorful side of the page face down. The side that is face down will be the side that shows in your paper roll. Next, place a pencil or dowel in the corner of your page and tuck the corner around your pencil. Begin to roll the paper, making sure that the paper is tight around your pencil and that the width is staying even all the way across. After a few rolls, you will remove the pencil and flatten the roll so that it's an even width all the way across. Continue to fold and flatten the paper until you have one long strip. As you near the end, add one dot of glue to seal the end. You can spread the glue around with your finger to ensure that the corner is covered and that the glue doesn't squeeze out when pressed together. Fold over the last corner and make sure it's secure to the rest of the page. Voila, you have your first roll. Continue this process with all of your magazine pages. A good starter project will use 20 to 25 pages. Before you begin constructing your spiral, take a look at the pages that you rolled to make sure they're all an even width. If you have any uneven pages, you might remove them at this time. Now it is time to construct. We will need to create a spiral using the rolled strips that we made. Start at one end of the strip and fold the edge over to begin your spiral. Crease it well and continue folding and creasing to create a tight spiral. If the strip is stiff and doesn't bend easily, you could use a pencil to start your spiral. Continue rolling, keeping the spiral tight and making sure the spiral stays flat along the top and the bottom. When you come to the end of your first strip, it's time to add another. I experimented first by using glue to attach the second strip. However, I found when I continued rolling, the wet glue made the strips slippery and did not work so well. I decided to switch to tape. By using a small piece of tape to attach the new strip, I found the process much easier. If you only have glue, you can glue all strips together first and let them dry before rolling. Whichever method you use. Continue adding strips to your spiral, making sure to keep the spiral tight and flat as you go. As the diameter of your spiral increases, you might find it becomes more difficult to hold the spiral tight. You can use the table at this point to give you support and make sure you keep your hand firmly pressing on the spiral to ensure that it doesn't unroll. If you do not have a tape dispenser, now might be a good time to ask a sibling or a parent to help you with the tape, or pre-cut your tape pieces in advance and stick them along the edge of the table so you can keep taping with one hand. To get to the last strip, secure the end in place with one more piece of tape. You can see that in my example I started with 25 magazine pages and my finished disc ended up being about 5 inches wide. Depending on your vision for your final project, you can adjust how many or how few pages you want to use. Once you have determined that you have the right size spiral for your project, now it's time to transform it into a bowl. Push your thumbs into the center of the bowl to hold the base against the table. With your fingers on the outside, gently pull the sides up slowly and carefully to create the bowl shape. Remember, there is nothing holding the spiral together except a few small pieces of tape, so use caution and just a bit of pressure to slide the rings up. Continue to use a pinching motion with your fingers and thumbs to raise the sides. Monitor your progress from the inside and outside to ensure that your rings are staying even. Use the table to ensure that your base is flat and that the sides have an even height. Adjust as needed until you feel you have a good spacing in your rings and a good shape to your bowl. Oh no, I went too far. Never to fear, mistakes happen. I will just need to remove the last piece of tape and re-roll the spiral. I learned not to go too far with the height. In no time at all, I'm back to my bowl shape. If this happens to you and you find your spiral too loose, as I did, you might consider re-rolling from the beginning to make sure your spiral is nice and tight and will hold the bowl shape well. Once your bowl shape is complete, it's time to seal it with glue. For this step, you can use Mod Podge, which is a popular crafter's glue that comes in either a matte or glossy finish that will dry clear and seal your piece. You can also use regular glue. You would just want to pour some glue in a bowl and mix it with a bit of water to thin it out a bit. In either case, you will use a paintbrush to spread the Mod Podge or glue all over the inside of your bowl to seal the rings together. If you notice gaps between any of your paper strips, you could add a bit more glue to these parts to ensure that the shape is more stable. Once the inside is covered, you will flip the bowl to paint the outside. Since you still have wet glue on the rim of your bowl will stick to the table if not careful. You can either wait until the inside dries, or if you have a non-stick surface on your table, such as wax paper, you can flip the bowl right away. Cover the outside of the bowl with Mod Podge or glue the same as you did on the inside. Congratulations, you have just finished your first paper bowl. Now that you've had a chance to experiment with the process, it's time to develop your craft and consider how to expand your skills. Do you want to make a different size bowl? Do you want to add embellishments like ribbon or decorations to enhance your bowl? You could even paint the inside or outside of your bowl to change the look. You could add a top to your bowl by pushing the spiral all the way out instead of leaving a flat bottom. What could you do to expand the project? I hope this tutorial inspires you to look at junk mail in a new way. What will you make next to turn your trash into treasure?